Hello, welcome to Tiemann Art Gallery in Round Rock, Texas. I'm Carrie Tiemann, the owner of the gallery. It's Monday, November 23rd, 2020. We're in the midst of a terrible pandemic. The hospitals are crowded with very sick people. Here in Williamson County, where we're located, we're at Alert Red, the highest level you can go, and everyone is being told to stay home and not gather for Thanksgiving. We also have just finished a presidential election. Our president has refused to concede that he lost the election to President-elect Joe Biden. I mean, politics are a mess. The country's divided. And a lot of people are just glued to the television watching for the latest news. Anyway, let's come into the gallery here and let's have a little fun today. I thought I'd tell you a little bit about why you should be buying art, how you can be shopping for it, and what's going on in the gallery. We'll just be walking around. I'll talk to you about my ideas about art and how to enjoy it, and we'll see a few things here in the gallery. I'd like to start with a little painting. And this painting in itself, I think, answers the question of why you need to buy art right now. Here's a lovely piece that's from my personal collection. It's not for sale. It's a mid-century painting by the artist Bror Utter. And it's just a lovely little piece. It's at my house. I keep it hung in what I call my art room. And every time I see it, it brings just a touch of little joy to my heart. I think it's just an incredibly lovely, colorful piece. So one reason to buy art right now is to do something kind for yourself. We are in the midst of extraordinarily hard times for everyone. And if you can buy art, I encourage you to do so. And you'll know I'll make a pitch that it's a good time to buy art from artists because of all the people that are suffering during this pandemic. Artists, performers, retail workers, restaurant people, they're all hard hit. And by buying art, that's the best way to support an artist. Anyway, just a very nice little piece by Bror Utter. Because of COVID, the gallery is closed right now except by appointment. So how can you shop for art, see art, when the gallery is closed? Of course, you can make an appointment and you can go on our website and we have an automated calendar where you can actually make the appointment right there on the website and then we'll confirm it with you. One way you can experience art here at Tiemann Art Gallery is through our windows. We have 70 feet across the front of the gallery of open windows, and the window exhibit is on 24/7. We keep the lights on so that you can see the artwork at night or on the weekends. I mean, it's open 24/7. And there's usually anywhere between 40 and 60 paintings that you can see from the windows. So we do want to really accent the notion that come and shop through the windows for art. Otherwise, we're closed, as I said, except by appointment. So you're at home binge watching TV and trying to figure out what you're going to do with your life that's on hold right now. Maybe you need to go think about getting those diplomas framed, or maybe you'd like to do that as a gift for someone during the holiday season. We do custom framing here, and I've got two examples of framing here, framing of diplomas. They're my diplomas, and I will have to say I earned those diplomas in the 1970s, but this is the first time they've been framed. I mean, I figure I own a custom framing store. I should at least frame my own diplomas. But we do, I think, lovely work, or we can do a diploma very simply as well. It is custom framing, so the moldings are all hardwoods and just beautifully done. And here's our framing wall, but I wanted to give you another idea, a fun idea about framing. Maybe you've got some of your children's artwork. We have lovely, colorful frames that just look great with your children's art. And what you can do with these frames is have a nice frame made and then change out the art from time to time. We also have shadow boxes. I wanted to show you this shadow box. My husband and I show cutting horses. And occasionally we do well enough to actually earn one of these beautiful sterling silver belt buckles. Well, most of the people that earn these buckles, they throw them in a drawer where they turn black from tarnish. But I came up with this idea of putting the belt buckles in a shadow box. And I've did this several years ago, and actually the belt buckles have not tarnished. And it's just a beautiful way of displaying. These belt buckles are, I think, actually art. Each one is a little piece of art. But you may have some things that are sentimental value to you that you might want to put in a shadow box. So that's something else we do with our custom framing. In October, we had a live music concert here at the gallery. We had 4 musicians, just wonderful musicians who played string instruments. It was a string quartet, just fun music. And we had about 26 people that we had distanced in assigned seating. And we paid the musicians, and we raised $2,600 as a fund for the musicians of the Central Texas Philharmonic, which is a local symphony for all of Central, representing all of Central Texas. But an artist once told me the best way to support the arts is by buying art. So if you want to consider supporting the arts right now in these hard times, please consider buying some art. You do good, and you get a fringe benefit, a nice piece of art. One of my favorite local artists brought me these cards that she'd made. They're actual cards where you can send messages, and they have little envelopes with them. And I thought, oh, this is a fine art gallery with original works, fine art limited edition prints. What am I going to do with a bunch of cards? But I had the idea of putting them on the wall and then framing them. And if I could, Paul, have you show how we framed 2 of them. I selected 2 of them and then put them in frames. The cards are only $30 or $40 a piece, but then you can put them in these frames and have really nice, nicely done pieces for your wall that you can select yourself. And these run about $300 each, something like that. So they do make nice gifts for the holidays. Why buy art right now? As I've said, be kind to yourself. You know that big picture that's on your wall that you never really like very much? Well, time to get rid of it. I mean, throw it away, put it in the garage, under the bed, whatever, and buy something new. Bring a little joy to your life. I have a very large painting of a fortune teller in one room of my house, and in the morning I get my cup of coffee and go sit down with her and have a little chat. It just makes my day. I just love sitting in front of that painting. In my bedroom, I have a big collection of paintings all over the walls, and I love to just sit there and look at the paintings. And even though I've seen them 1,000 times, I really enjoy every single one of them. It's surprising how many people will bring paintings into the gallery and they want to know if they're worth anything because they've been hanging forever in their house. And I'll look at them and I'll say, no, these are just old prints. And maybe somebody put some brush strokes on them, but no, they're just old prints. And so, they'll get rid of them. But don't be like that. I mean, if you have an old picture that you don't like anymore, just get rid of it. Then if you do have pictures you do like, you might want to consider swapping them out from time to time. Finding a nice place to store them and put something new there and then change them out from time to time. Another thing that we're doing for the holidays, and we're going to continue to carry it as gift items, is jewelry by Doretta Designs. Many of you here in Round Rock know her. That's Doretta Conrad. And she makes these beautiful natural stones from just ordinary rocks that she picks up out of the riverbed, slices them in half, and finds these beautiful designs inside the rocks. Now she can tell you all about that. She's a lapidarist. I don't know too much about it. But I had her make up her pendants using semi-precious stones. So we have here jade, cerulean, and some more jade there. But these are lovely pieces that she has created as an exclusive line for the gallery. We call it the Ot 5 Ranch line, which is actually the name of my ranch. Here on a table at the gallery are 3 original oil pastels, small floral pieces by a local artist, Peggy Cook. And we framed them very simply with a white mat. And we're going to put just a simple white molding around them. But just playing with them, I pulled a bunch of frame samples off the wall and put together how these little paintings might look depending upon which molding you selected. And so here they are with all the different samples, and they really do have a very different effect depending upon what frame you would happen to choose for them. Because of the spike in COVID, the gallery is currently closed except by appointment. So how can you make an appointment? Well, you can go to our website, and under the the tab for contacts, you can see where you can click to make an appointment. Calls up an automated calendar. Of course, you can always call the gallery. Phone number is 512-551-9774 and speak to someone or leave a message asking for an appointment. Or you can go to our email and send us an email asking for an appointment. And all that information really is on the website. In fact, the key to shopping right now at Tiemann Art Gallery is really the website. There's a lot of information there. We have, under the tab Events, we have a lot of different exhibits, online exhibits. You can open up an exhibit and see a thumbnail of the different paintings, then open up a particular painting and find out more information about it, the artist, the size, the medium, that sort of thing. One of the exhibits that's currently on the website is our exhibit of mid-century art, and this is just a few, very few pieces that are in that exhibit displayed on this wall here. So you can get an idea of the type of work we have as mid-century art. In fact, that brings up a point. Another thing that you may want to do during COVID, you're looking for new interests, new hobbies, something to do, consider taking up art collecting as a hobby. You can see all kinds of art online, in print material too, in books, to focus on what area you might like to collect. And mid-century art is a great place to start, whether you're dealing with art that we'll never know who the artists are in some cases, to very famous pieces, including some work by the Texas modernists, all of which tends to be pretty reasonably priced. But there's all kinds of things to collect, maybe little etchings, antique etchings, maybe subject matter is your interest. You want to collect, well, I have a soft spot for water lilies. I love water lilies, so I look for paintings of water lilies. I know. I shouldn't be collecting water lilies, but I love them. And maybe you love Texas landscapes. I mean, it's an opportunity to really get into the notion of collecting. And we'll be putting more exhibits up on our website so that you can view an exhibit just off the computer. Something that I'm very excited about that the gallery will be doing in January is we are participating with the Print Austin Festival to have a print show here at Tiemann Art Gallery. And that will involve, we'll have a wonderful window exhibit, and we will also have an exhibit online where all of the prints that we're showing will have the thumbnails that can be opened up, and you can view more information about it so you can see the art that way. We'll also be doing a video gallery tour of that exhibit, and we will also have artists that are speaking. I mean, it's going to be very exciting. And the Print Austin show will be from January 15th of 2021 until February 28th, 2021. So that's something that I hope everyone will watch for. And if you're further interested in more information, please send us your email, which you can do again by going to our website. And we will fill you in on the different events, most of which will be virtual, that will be going on during that show. Also, I'd like to point out while I'm here, two artists that I'm very excited about that I feel like I discovered. They're very wonderful artists. Both are Texas artists from different backgrounds, but in a way painting very similarly. And we hope to have a show of their work during 2021. We don't have any dates yet. Two artists. The first here is Sonia Borjali. This happens to be a piece that I've purchased from her for my personal collection, but she's a wonderful artist, a child prodigy. Her first show was when she was 6 years old in kindergarten, and the teacher loved her work so much that she went around and showed it to all the students. And then much later in life, as a teenager, she actually had another child who remembered her artwork. So, I mean, she was a great artist even from an early age. She traveled the world working for the U.S. State Department and spent some time in the 90s in New Hampshire, where just one of those fortuitous things that completely changes your life. She happened to step into the studio of a great master artist, a great teacher, and she spent 4.5 years learning from this artist. He completely deconstructed everything she did and had her and rebuilt her in this new style of classic realism, and taught her line and shadowing and technique. And then she added her own extraordinary artistic talent to the techniques and has ended up making some beautiful, beautiful works. So we plan to have her work in the show. Another artist that we hope to show next year is the young artist Samuel Shelton, who painted the portrait of the ventriloquist here. I sponsored Samuel for a year while he painted, and we should have between 10 and 15 of his works for the show. This will be one of them. I found one of Samuel's paintings in an art show, purchased the painting, and then searched him out and found out that he does paint really wonderfully, self-taught, and he paints in what he calls a Baroque style, the classic realism, which I love. Both of these portraits are an example of classic realism. But he has a wonderful and very entertaining imagination. His paintings always tell a story, and there is a story behind the ventriloquist as well. So we hope you'll be watching our website and let us keep you apprised of events through your email address if you would send it to us, and we'll let you know when the show is. And again, the show will be online as well as in the gallery. Here at the gallery, we're going to be launching a game, a contest that we'll run on our Facebook page and maybe even through email. And the game involves taking very famous pictures and cutting out some small portion of that picture and having a contest to see who can guess the painting. And we have little prizes that we're going to be giving away. So again, contact us by email if you're interested in playing this game, or watch our Facebook business page, Tiemann Art Gallery, to get involved in this game. We should start it probably sometime in December. I've talked a little bit about art collecting and how much fun it can really be. It can lead you to going to art shows, books, it can get into movies, online exhibits. I mean, you name it, you can center a life around art collecting as a hobby. One of the collections that I have is of woodblock prints. And of course, the Japanese were very famous for their woodblock prints, but you can find artists today who are doing beautiful woodblocks. In fact, I went to a show this weekend of work by Daryl Howard, who is an Austin artist, and she has made her career of making woodblock prints that she actually learned from Japanese printmakers. But I thought I would show you a little bit about an interesting little book that I acquired. The title of it, in Japanese and English, is The Process Book of Woodblock Printing. And it's a little accordion book. I'll lay it out for you. And again, it's written in both English and Japanese. And what it shows you is how the print starts through its finish. The print starts as a drawing by the artist, and that's what we have in the first two pictures, is just the drawing that's going to be the drawing of the print. And then they get started making the print. First, what they do is they'll make the print of this edge of the umbrella. And then they'll show you how that looks on the drawing. Okay? The next step is a block print of the yellow underneath the umbrella. And here is the composite then. The next step is the shading behind the print, and that's how it looks as the composite. But it goes on. This is actually the more interesting side. With each block print, more is added to the composite. You go through, and here's the sky. Here's detail from the dress. More detail in a different color of the dress, and so on until you get to the final print. And Paul, if you can get a nice shot of that final print there, you see what an elegant, beautiful little piece that is. And it was done through a series of 9 different block printing. Another area for print collecting is antique prints. What I'm holding here is an antique print by the master artist Fra Filippo Lippo, an Italian painter from the 15th century. Yes, this guy was born over 600 years ago. And this is a detail of a painting of the Madonna and Child. It's an image that I've always known and enjoyed from a very young age. And I found this in kind of a junk shop, really. The frame was painted, beautifully carved, but the frame was painted brown, and the picture itself was, the glass was filthy. So I picked this up and cleaned it up, and I was surprised at how beautiful the print itself still was. It's a chromolithograph. We put some gilding cream on it and brightened up the frame quite a bit, and the whole thing just makes for a beautiful little image. I mentioned that we're going to have a print show in January, starting January 15th. It's part of the Print Austin Festival. Now those prints will be contemporary prints, both in terms of style as well as living artists. We have artists, there'll be mostly artists from Texas, but I encourage you to take a look at that, because contemporary prints can be a wonderful source for collecting and for brightening up your home, and also a way to continue to follow those artists over time as they print more of their work. Anyway, that's a good thing to watch for. January 15th through the end of February will be our Print Austin show. So I'm spending long hours at the gallery, and I get to see and watch the paintings that are on the wall for many hours. Just outside my desk is this little painting here, this little landscape. I don't know who painted it. It's not signed. It did come with this frame, and again, this was another frame that we cleaned up and added a little sparkle to with the gilding cream. But I've spent a lot of time looking at this little landscape, and I just may have to take it home myself. I really enjoy it. I just wanted to point out to you how something very simple like this can really grow on you. So, look at your art that way and spend some time with it. There are some pieces that you connect with immediately. They speak to you right away. And then there's other pieces that you need to watch just a little bit, study, maybe look at one section of the painting and then move out and then come back together. Sometimes how I look at a painting is by making my hand into a fist and looking at detail of the painting and then moving my hand, making the detail larger, and then moving my hand away. That was a tip an artist gave me, and it does become a way of looking at a painting. Try it sometime and see what you think. And while we're on this wall, I just have to mention the piece that's resting on the floor there. We brought that out for a customer just recently and haven't put it in the back room yet. And we've had it on the wall for a while too. This is just a powerful piece, a beautiful drawing by a living artist. It's a charcoal, original charcoal, and the title of it is Daddy's Home. And that little boy looks like, go away, I'm with my daddy. But I love this piece, and I think this would be a wonderful collector piece also. One of the other things we're working on at the gallery is to put a virtual visualization software on the website. And this visualization software will allow someone to upload photos of their walls and then pick and choose from different paintings to try out on their walls while they're sitting there at home. So that I'm hoping to launch sometime in December of 2020. So what I would leave you with in this video is go out and buy some art. Be kind to yourself and help to support the artists. Watch our website and see what events are going on, what the new exhibits are. And if you would, go ahead and send us your email so we can contact you directly, or you can make an appointment directly on the website. As I mentioned, there's a little calendar there where you can go on and it's automated. You select the time that you want and you've set up an appointment that way. I'd also like to conclude, since this is for your enjoyment, a joke. There were 3 men that met in a forest with a little fairy. And the men were, one was a professor, one was a CEO, and one was a janitor. And the little fairy said to the 3 men, I will grant what you wish for most if you will do someone else's job for a day. So the professor, we'll just make him a law professor since that's my background. The law professor said, well, I will be a teacher. I'll be an elementary school teacher. That's got to be easy. I mean, all I have to do is take care of a bunch of little kids and teach them how to read. Well, he got into the classroom, and immediately these little 6-year-olds drove him absolutely bonkers. And he threw down all the supplies and said, I can't do this, I quit. Okay. Well, the next man was the CEO. And the CEO thought about it and he said he would be very clever about this. He goes, I will be a waiter at a restaurant for a day. So the fairy transported him, zing, into a restaurant, busy restaurant. Well, in no time at all, the customers were driving the CEO crazy. It was all insane. He threw the plates on the floor, crushing and breaking all the plates, and said, I'm out of here. I can't do this anymore. And the third man was the janitor. And the fairy said, okay, what do you want to do? And he says, I will be an artist for a day. Wham! He went into an art gallery and an art studio. And he took the supplies that the law professor had thrown on the floor and he glued them to some canvas, and he took all the broken plates that the CEO had broken in the restaurant and he glued them to another canvas, and he sold the resulting work for $1 billion. And the fairy said, "Well, what makes you so clever? How did you figure this all out?" And the janitor said, "I have a master's in fine arts. I mean, if anything else I have learned doing this gallery, I have come to really appreciate artists and how they live for their passion and how creative they can be. They do have to be clever than all the rest of us." So I like the joke. He has a master's in fine arts. He can do anything. Thank you for watching this video.